come up with a topic. We have everybody have this hand up here. That's planning and research project. Okay, a question is posed. So what question arises in your mind? A problem that has no known solution. Think about community, school, children, adolescents, families, the disabled. Whatever interests you, instead of saying a pre-service teacher, but as a student, senior professional owner. Now, does anybody have an idea as far as what their topic is going to be? Does anybody? You have one? Get one.
Excuse me, Dr. Mayor. You know, here we go. See, y'all can't be in there. Slow down. I gave you these. You keep together. Don't take it apart. It's a package. I gave you one package. Okay. That's right. I don't want to take a lot of water. Then I'm trying to figure out. Okay. Okay. Now, everybody else, I'm going to give you 2 more sheets because there's another handout. I'll wait to give you that handout. Okay.
Anyway, you have to something in mind as far as what you want to write about. Now, you have to be passionate about what you want to do, because if you're not passionate about it, it's going to be very hard for you to complete your paper. Now, the first research project I thought about doing when I was working on my doctorate, so I've been working with children for, I guess, 30-some odd years. And I noticed that there were certain things that they all had in common. That was their inability to manage their emotions, especially when they was hyped up or very stimuli. So I said, the majority of our youngsters, they have an inability to manage their emotions. That's why they get in trouble. And then they don't know, if they hyped up, they don't know how to decrease it. So I developed what we call the juvenile emotional management skill. It assesses the student's ability to manage his emotions. It took me 2 years to develop it, so that was validated and all of that. But it makes a difference as far as teachers are able to give this out and for assess their students that they can start out with to see their ability, especially to manage their emotions in the classroom, is very important, because we know a lot of students come to school with emotional problems. A lot of students, even though they're intelligent. They have a problem dealing with their temper. If you say no, that's going to make them, what do you mean no? But if we know ahead of time each child's ability to do that, then we can start to be able to manage the class. But everybody in here has a topic. There's something on their mind that they would like to write about. And I asked the question before, how many has a topic? I think the young lady in the back is here, right?
Yes.
Okay, you want to tell us what your topic is?
This is basically my summer research I did at Ole Miss, and it's called The Role of Asymmetry when Establishing Order Boundaries in Paradox Plants.
That's all right. Oh, okay. Does everybody else have an idea of what they want to do but haven't made up their mind? Okay. Now, for those of us who don't have it, just think about like the first question. Now, after you find out what your topic is going to be about, for example, I may have a question. Why a large percent of African American adolescent males not going to college after graduating from high school? Let's use that as an example. Now, we're going to write a question below that signifies your research problem that you are interested in. Let's go to number 2. It's a matter of words. After reflecting on your question, convert the question into a clearly stated research problem. For example, the purpose of this research paper or project is to investigate the reasons some African American adolescent males do not pursue college education after graduating from high school. So if I wanted to find out why our young men are not going to college, then I want to do research on it. Why aren't they? There are some reasons, you know, it may not be maybe a money thing, but everybody goes to school with big with student loans. It may be that they don't know what they want to do. I don't know. But if I wanted to research that, I would develop a questionnaire that would answer these questions. I'll interview a lot of young men who just walk in the streets. How come you're not going to college or whatever, vocation or something? Must read. Do you think the answer to this would be important? Everybody in here has the same opportunity. Everybody in this research people can be very important. Now, first of all, since when we get our question or topic that we want to do, the next thing is we have to look at the information out there that will support our topic. All right, so we don't want just anything off the internet because a lot of that stuff is not valid. I mean, it's not valid. I mean, it hasn't been researched. It's somebody's perception. Now, think about the research that has been done on African Americans throughout the years, like that. Was it valid? No. Because there was this person, other than, you know, African American, that's looking on the outside in saying, this is what's happening, this is why they're doing it, this is why they're doing that. It wasn't empirical research information. And everybody went through what they were saying. But we want our research, whatever we do, we want it to be valid. Not your perception. So the material that you gather from these articles, especially after doing research, you start with the abstract. Now, if you pick your topic, so when you're looking at journal articles, you want to look first at the abstract to see if it relates to your topic. For instance, if we want to do research on, say, historically black colleges in the South. Now, here's the article here. Contemporary perspective on the role of HBCUs from Mississippi. Now, looking at the abstract, this article examines the contemporary role of historically black colleges and universities in public higher education systems. The article is based on the premise that in order to address persistent questions about whether historically black colleges are a relevant sector of public higher education, a contemporary rather than historical analysis is necessary. To the effect of desegregation, litigation, foreign policy initiatives, and student enrollment trends are considered. Now, what this article is saying is it's showing us the history of historically black colleges and its significance in educating blacks. Now, the first paragraph, which is the introductory part of your paper. Now, this is the part that those first couple of sentences have to be very exciting, or the reader's going to, man, I want this. So it has to give you a feeling that, wow, I want to read the rest of this stuff. The intersection of race and equality in American higher education generates continuous debate among educational styles. Black colleges and universities is a regular part of the discourse, raising issues of public support, system design, and law. In 1950, more than 3/4 of African American undergraduates were enrolled in HBCUs. Today, historically black enrollment approximately 14% of African Americans. Now, this thing was 75% enrollment of African Americans during the 50s, but now we only enroll 14%. Now, if I want to do a research, I would want to find out why we are down so low. There can be a lot of contributing factors. For some people, you know, they want to go to school where there's a football. Some of them want to go because that's where my friends are. So, but you have to realize when Tougaloo was instituted, started, it was just 4 years after slavery was abolished. Now, you're part of that legacy now. I don't want to get into it, but this is what articles should do. It should stir your interest, should stir your passion to write about something that's worth changing outside of African America. And we can do it by the pen. The pen is mighty than the sword. Excuse me. Now, so, where do we find our information? If you were for your topic, where would you get your information? What? Internet? Okay. Books? All right. Now, the internet says, okay, you have to make sure it's in social science. Now, science, natural science may have a different engine or whatever. But the first chapter, which is called the introduction, introducing the topic to the reader. Now, research that you did, just natural science, I'm not that familiar with natural science. But I'm pretty sure it's, just judging by what you did, that's a great monumental topic, especially if other person did research. But everybody in here has a topic. Now, you have to think about it. How many have been thinking about what you're going to write about? Have you thought about it before the day? How many have thought about it before the day? Okay, raise I'm not going to jump in. Okay. Now, for those who hasn't, you know, you still have time. How long does it take for you to think about what you want to do? Does it take a whole day? Does it take a week? Does it take a month? All it takes is this quality time to sit down and really reflect on what are you passionate about as far as when you look in your community, when you look at the situation. Did it male and female role as far as African Americans are concerned? I don't know. There's a lot of problems that exist among ourselves. Always turn on the TV. Is there a problem with African American males versus law enforcement? There's a lot, you know, just look at what's happening around us. And researchers, and especially when we talk about enlightening people, this is the time for us to really open our mind to see what we can do to contribute to society to make it a better place. All we have to do is be passionate about what we want to do. Now, number 3. It's worth a guess. So we're going to propose a temporary hypothesis. For example, adolescent American males who do poorly academically do not pursue a college education. Or adolescent African American males who have been involved in the juvenile system do not pursue a college education. And my other hypothesis was African American males who have no positive male role models involved in their lives do not pursue a college education. Now these set of hypotheses is just what my paper is going to give us. It's going to prove if this is right or wrong. So if I say that African American males who do poorly in school do not pursue higher education. Is that a fact? It's good, but how much of a fact is it? Just like those who are involved in the juvenile system, do they pursue a college education? Or they don't? Why? That's how I want to know why if I was doing research. So you have to ask these questions, why? Why is this happening? Why is this not happening? Why does it affect this but not that? So forth. Now, of course, the search is on. So you will search the literature for ideas that shed light on the problem that you are researching and for strategies that may help to address this issue. All right, if I look at my research as far as African American pursuing higher education, I see that there's more to it than when I think about my perception of it. So I'm going to take all of these matters in. What are people doing about the help this problem? I want to bring all that in also. Maybe they're not doing something right. Maybe I might have not the right idea. I don't know. But it's worth a try. People do it every day, but not enough of us. That's my problem. Not enough of us.
Not enough of research.
Yeah.
You know, one of the renowned experts on HBCUs is a lady named Mary Beth Glasson, and she speaks at every conference I attend. She is an expert on HBCUs and African American in college.
Well, just think about us, our culture. We are losing it. Think about our people who want to go get an education beyond high school. We lose that numbers unfair for now. So nobody really, every year, less and less people are attending college. I'm talking about African Americans. A lot of our young men are still walking the street doing nothing. And change it for the whole America, and he did for the world besides America. When people have ideas, especially if you're passionate about it, you can change things. And so your senior thesis, when people talk about senior thesis, it frees up, like if they about to give a death sentence or something. You can't be afraid of writing. You cannot be afraid of writing. And especially demonstrate, you are a critical thinker. You don't have to demonstrate it to somebody, you have to demonstrate it to yourself. Because we're trying to please ourselves. As far as, if you call yourself a professional graduate, especially from Tougaloo College, then what you're doing at paper is going to demonstrate just a style that everybody in here is. If you have problems writing, that's no problem. Whoever your advisor is, this is a job to help you. Everybody, do you have a research class in your division? Okay, so whatever happens in there is, I guess, get you in there direct. But when you go there, be passionate about whatever you decide you're going to do. Now, plagiarism, the next hand up. About how many seniors supposed to be graduating in here? Y'all have an idea about the number? 107. Wow, we don't have 100 here. Oh, Lord, everybody that came in here on your own. Those that's not here, good luck to them. That's why plagiarism. Need one over here. Pass it down. All right. When you get your senior paper together with your advisor, he's going to have to turn it into Mr. Carlos Smith. And they look at it, and they send the paper to turn it into .com. Everybody will use that? And what does that do? What does it turn it into .com? What does it do? Yeah, check out, see what the center of the paper has plagiarism. Now, I hope everybody knows how to, if you're reading an article, how to cite from that article. Everybody know how to do that? And if you're doing word for word, what should you do? Yeah, quotation marks, and you can put the author's name down there. But don't write it as this is your word. That's what and so turn it in .com while you're working on your paper. You can, as you develop it, you can turn it in and see exactly where you're at. Because I remember some papers came back with 80% plagiarism. 80%.
And let me say that the first time you turn in your paper is not when you should discover that you got 80% plagiarism. Meaning, just like you said, as you write, you turn it in, turn in the pages, and you don't have to, once you do all this wonderful writing that you thought was wonderful, then you put it in there, and then it comes back with 40-50% plagiarism, and you keep saying, well, I cited it correctly, I thought I did it right, and then have to go
Okay, now, plagiarism means to steal or pass off ideas or words of another, is one on. To use without crediting your source, to commit literary theft. To present as new and original an idea productive derived from an existing source. In other words, plagiarism is an act of fraud. That's why people who write music have it copyrighted. So if somebody uses it without their permission, they can sue them. In fact, some people can go to jail more than months. So prevent plagiarism in writing. So you have to come up with your own original ideas while at the same time making reference to work that's already been done by others. But how can you tell where the ideas end and you begin with your own? So what's the proper way to integrate sources in the paper? If you change some of what another said, you still have to cite that author. Now, what do y'all think? For some of those questions. First of all, how can you tell where the ideas end and your own begin? Anybody know? And your own begin. What's that? What others? For instance, if I was to say that today HBCUs enroll approximately 14% of all African American and post-secondary institutions, and 20% of African American students in southern states. All right, now this is what the article is saying. Now, if I can see that and put my own, you can tell where mine is in versus where this author is. If I say, for instance, HBCUs enroll approximately 3/4 of African American undergraduates are enrolled in HBCUs. Today, HBCUs enroll 14% of all African Americans in post-secondary laws, and about 15% of African Americans continue to fulfill the juvenile justice system. Can y'all tell?
After you stop the statistics, after you left the statistics and you start making statements without supporting sources, without citing the source.
No, I'm saying where this author's word and where mine began. All right, I'm going to do it one more time. All right, this is the author's words. I'm just going to continue and I'm going to add mine with it. I said, 1950, more than 3/4 of African American undergraduates were enrolled in HBCUs. Today, HBCUs enroll approximately 14% of all African Americans in post-secondary institutions and 28% of African Americans in the southern states. Today, African American males are 20% contained in correctional facilities versus post-secondary institutions. Where did mine come in? Yeah, because I changed this. I saw it went from Congress and I'm talking about those in the juvenile system. So up until then, I would have to have quotation marks saying this and then mine would come with mine. But don't forget, in the formal page, you cannot use the word I. You cannot use the word I. So you are the researcher. You are the author of this paper. That's your new title. This is your creation, right? Doesn't that sound better than I? The researcher said, or the author said, hey, stick your chest out there. Okay, any questions so far? So I think everybody knows about plagiarism. And, okay, now this is I usually use in education as far as the research that I did this to give you an example. For instance, the problem is significant enough to warrant investigation. It goes back to your topic. So for my chapter 1, it's the introduction. You should identify the topic and explain why it is important. It should state the problem as simply as possible. Okay? And also the significance of your paper. Everybody's research paper should have some significance. And it's your bragging right to report what those significance are. All right, then, so chapter 1, this deals with introducing your topic and painting a picture of what your topic is about and so forth. Now, chapter 2, literature review. So everybody has to